How's everybody doing today? This is video number 2 in series. I guess I got to name them if I'm going to keep putting them up. I think I'll call it Steve's Garage. What I'm going to do today is replace the batteries on a 99 Ford F-250 with a 7.3 liter diesel engine, which is the truck I worked on my last video. If you took a look at it, and I replaced the old bulb headlights with projector headlights and turn signals in one unit. So what I'm going to do today, the truck's been turning over a little bit slow. The batteries in this truck usually last, I don't know, if you get 4 years, you're doing really, really well, I think. I've never really gotten 4 years, although these two that I have in it, I've pushed them, and I'm on the 5th year now. So what I'm going to do is take them off, and I'm pretty sure they're bad, but what I'm going to do is take them off and load test them. I'll show you how to do that. And if they fail the load test, which I'm pretty sure they will, I've got 2 new batteries ready to replace them, and we'll throw those in. So I'll be back in just a second. I'll get the truck opened up and show you how to get the batteries out and load test them. Okay, this is a load tester. It's pretty simple. It's just a carbon pile. I'm sure anybody that's watching this knows what it is, and even if you don't know what it is, it doesn't really matter. It's got it's a simple one. It's got pretty easy directions right there. Batteries. This truck takes 2 batteries. You got the passenger side battery, and you've got the driver's side battery. Both 850 cold cranking amps. This truck, the 7.3 liter diesel, needs 2 batteries in the circuit at all times. One of them starts the truck using the glow plugs, and then continues until it's warmed up, and then the plugs turn off. That takes quite a few amps. Starting the truck, it takes both batteries. It pulls probably, I don't know, I'm going to say about 200 to 300 amps. I haven't tested the starter, but if it starts pulling more than that, your starter's going bad. I don't think that's it. I'm going to start with the batteries just because they're easier to take out. And you can see here, that's a new alternator that I put in a couple months ago. It's a 200 amp alternator. A lot of people put dual alternators in this truck. I didn't want to fool with that, so I just got a really good 200 amp. That's 100 amp more than the original. What I'll do first is, or what you want to do first is, when you're checking the charging system, is make sure that it is charging. And there's an easy way to do that. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube that show that. I won't bore everybody with that, but you basically start your vehicle up. You put your tester on the leads of the battery, and it should be putting out anywhere from, I don't know, 14 to 15 volts. This puts out, excuse me, about 14 and a half. When this is running, I just checked it a few minutes ago. So the alternator's putting out, and it should be because it's new. And so what I'm going to do, I'll start with the passenger side first, although the driver's side gets a little more use. This is the first one in the circuit, and I've also got the stereo to the truck hooked up to it here, so this gets a little more use, this battery, so this one has a tendency to go bad before the other one. My connections, not that great. I'm going to clean them up. I think I can get one more time out of them, although I see a little bit of a crack right there. Hopefully that holds. We'll see. If that doesn't hold, I'll cut these off and I'll put new ends on. You can also get the whole new cables for this, but for this truck it's a major deal. Just the positive cable goes all the way across the front, over here to the other battery, and down to the starter. And I just said something wrong. This is actually the first one in the system going down to the starter. But this is a long cable, and it's a son of a gun to replace that whole cable down to the starter. Although if you wanted to get the best connections, that's really what you want to do. Hopefully, and you can see that this is an odd connector. You couldn't just replace that. You'd have to get the cable for this one. If this connector, if you can't tighten this up, so you're stuck doing that with this one. Hopefully I'm okay. This one's in pretty good shape. It's a little bit, you see a little surface rust, but nothing major. So let me get those off, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this battery loose. I changed my mind and went with the driver's side first here. No reason. Just so I happen to be standing over here. When you loosen these, nuts. You want to be careful. This is lead. It only takes so many ins and outs before it just isn't any good anymore. When you go to take it off, don't try to pry underneath this with a screwdriver. You could break it. What you want to do is work it back and forth like this. Alright, just work it back and forth. It'll come loose. It'll come off. Alright, same thing with the negative side. And then you want to inspect it. Again, this has got, I thought that was a little crack up on top, but it's really not. It's just somewhere where the lead, it's just a little piece where the lead is just peened over a little bit. It's not a big deal. Looks worse than it is. I'll be able to reuse this again. And what I also had to do, you can notice on the back, this is a 1/2 inch nut on the front. On the back is also a 1/2 inch, but it's square. But you can also just grab this with a pair of vice grips, which is what I had to do. You can see it started to turn. So if yours starts to turn a little bit, just grab it with a small pair of vice grips, and you can hold it while you turn the front off. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side here. Okay, I got the other passenger side battery unhooked. Same deal. 1/2 inch wrench on both. Hold the back of it if you have to with a pair of vice grips or another 1/2 inch wrench. This one, you also notice I didn't mention, this has a cowl on it that goes on to help protect the battery. Just pulls off, just slides off, and then you'll see that there's a holder, there's a clamp for the battery here that goes down and clamps the battery onto the bottom, keep it from shaking around. You got to loosen that up. Same thing on the other side, but this one's just down here. It's just it's a short one, but it's the same thing. It's a clamp that keeps the battery from moving around. So let me get those off, and then we'll load test them. Okay, I got both lower clamps off, and you'll see there's just a block that fits down into a track down there, and the screw goes in it and screws it down. Same thing on this side, but because you've got a cold air duct here, you have a longer screw that goes down in, but it's the same thing. It's just a block that goes down in there and holds the battery. So we'll pull these out and put them on the test bench. Okay, we got the batteries out. They're on the test bench here. What I'm going to do is set this one up to load test. It's a pretty simple deal. Negative terminal, hook it up, make sure you got a good connection. Positive side, you got a little positive here. Hook it up, make sure you got a good connection. Alright, now what you want to do first is you want to get the surface charge off of this. So you turn on your load tester for, I don't know, a couple, 3 seconds, turn it off, and then you let the battery set for about 4 or 5 minutes. So I've already done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load test, which basically you just turn this on, you hold it for just a few seconds, and it'll show you, you'll be able to see. You can see that battery goes right down into bad. Alright, so there's no capacity on that battery. Alright, so that one's shot. Alright. If we do the same thing, and that's from the driver's side. We do the same thing on the passenger side. Negative and positive here. Now if we do the same thing here, I've already taken the surface charge off of this. If you watch this one, when I turn it on, that one's a lot better. It's marginal. You see, it's just hitting the weak. For a 800 cold cranking amp battery, 1,800 to 1,000, it's just hitting it. So I could probably reuse that one, but I'm not going to. When I put the batteries in, I put them both in at the same time. That way you don't have to worry about this one going bad in a year. You got them both in there, and you can put them up. And I've got some outside lights that I can use for these batteries that I have on 12-volt system. This one will be good for that. This one I'll just take back to Sears and get the core charge back. So that's really it for these. I'm going to put the 2 new ones in, and it's just a reverse of taking them out. Pretty simple stuff. And I will come back on when I've got them in, and we'll start the truck up, see if this was a problem. New batteries are in. You can see there's the driver's side. There's the passenger side. Now I also cleaned out, I didn't show you this, but when I had these out, I took the time to get some compressed air and blow out any dirt, crap that's sitting down underneath these on the tray. Clean it off real good. No rust on the tray, so that's good. And you can see the nice new terminals on both sides. And when you put your old leads on, What I do, they say, you want to twist them and put them down on there as far as you can. You can see how this is. Hopefully you can see this. You can see that this is even. Actually, the terminal's actually sticking up a little bit around the connector. Same thing here. You want to get them down on there as far as you can, so you can tighten them up nice. Same thing here. This one's nice and even. This one's up just a little bit, negative. So make sure they're nice and tight. Even before you tighten them up, I could almost run it like this, and I don't even have them tightened. So I will finish tightening those up, and we'll start the truck up. Okay, batteries are all in. Got the cowl on. Connections went back good. As good as could be expected for this old truck. Let's get in. See if she starts. Started up perfectly. Of course, now I got to reset everything on the stereo because I lost all my settings. But so that's it. Got the batteries in. We're all set. We're good to go. I'll see you all next time at Steve's Garage. Thanks a lot.